as well as being a certified mediator, Susan's Prodating Program teaches you how to use online dating and every other option to find great people to date. And whether you're looking for a lot of hot dates or if you're ready to find one fabulous partner, these are the skills you need. Now, Susan also offers a complimentary 1-hour telephone session so that everyone can transform their lives, their finances, and their future. Also, Susan Allan says if you do 100% of what works and 0% of what does not work, you can indeed have the life that you dream about. Oh, that's so exciting to me.
It's true.
I'm still working on this, Susan. Now, on tonight's show, we are focusing on how to find your Valentine's hottie. And this is a different type of format because most of the relationship shows, when Susan gives you the long-term success, so it's already January 12th, you have about 1 month. So I'm excited we can get ready, get started, and explore these questions and get this valuable information. And Susan, I know you're revved up and ready to go.
I am ready, to sprinkle pixie dust on all of you guys so you can have a fabulous Valentine's Day.
And the opening question is, what is the first step that you would suggest for finding a great date?
Okay, so let's assume you are really serious about having a fabulous Valentine's Day and you don't have somebody to share it with you. So you have to be really focused, you have to be excited, you have to be ready. Then we know that online dating is the secret. You don't have time to go 5,000 places. You can't call every single person you've ever met and ask them to introduce you to friends. So you're going to do the smart thing. You're going to use online dating. And it depends what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a quick hookup, it's usually Tinder or Match.com. If you're looking for more of a relationship, OkCupid. If you're looking for a certain kind of relationship or hot date, it could be Christian singles, it could be J-date, it could be elite singles if you're somebody who's got a lot of money and power and that's what you're looking for. So be very careful about the online dating sites that you decide to go on. And once you've figured that out, join them. Don't think about joining them because you've only got a month to get yourself a date. Join them. And don't join one, join two. So for most of you listening, I would recommend OkCupid. And simply for the sheer numbers, and because you're looking for a hot date, you're not looking for a husband or a wife, I would also go with Match.com because it's huge. And you have basically a lifetime supply of people to connect to.
Oh, wonderful suggestion, Susan. So there you go. Nobody has to be without after that. Now, what about people, the people that they need to understand what's important about creating a really hot profile that really gets attention?
So the first thing you want to do is you want to look at other people's profiles. So you want to get yourself a profile education. That's one of the things that I teach. So how do you create a profile that's really captivating? Well, first of all, it's got to be all about the reader, not all about you. Remember, somebody who's reading your profile is looking for a relationship, usually with somebody who's fabulous and sexy and has a great career and a great life and looks terrific and is well-toned, but also somebody who would be interested in them. Somebody who has a level of connection skills, empathy skills, compassion skills, certainly somebody who's very sexy, but somebody who's you'd want to be with the next day too. So that's why when you write your profile, be sure that you look at other people's profiles and you see what jumps out and reaches you, because that's what you're going to want to duplicate. Put humor in it and be very, very positive. I was looking at some potential matches for one of my clients last night and the night before, And he sent me one, and all she did was complain in the profile. I've never done this before, and I don't really think it's going to work, and da 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 da. And after 2 seconds, I emailed back my client, you already have one of those. That's the one you're divorcing. You don't need another complainer, right? And I'm sure you don't either. Even if you have never dated a complainer, please don't start now. So very positive, very upbeat, put enough specifics. Do you love movies? Do you love the beach? Do you love horseback riding? Do you love golf? What is it that you want your hot date to do if you have a choice? Well, I presume Valentine's Day. You might want this person to go dancing. So I love this kind of dancing, blah, blah, blah. Hope you do too, that kind of thing.
That's very clear. I appreciate that, Susan. And of course, you want to be stimulating to attract somebody that would hold your attention.
Absolutely. You have to be a hottie yourself.
Oh. Now, what about photos that they post? I know, Susan, that you have some important suggestions for this particularly. And now that there's a time crunch, what would you recommend?
Well, we're just doing get yourself a hot Valentine's Day date, right? So let's be specific. So you got to look hot. So I don't want you to be in lingerie because that's not what you want to attract. At the same time, you can look very hot in a dress. You can look very hot in a shirt and pants or in a suit even, If things are well cut and they're flattering and you look terrific and the lighting is good, or if you're in shorts sitting at the beach or taking a walk or on a bike or on a motorcycle or whatever it is you do, you can still look fabulous and hot. Make sure those photos are very, very flattering. Make sure you also put in a headshot that's very, very flattering. Make sure that there's a full body shot. So if you're playing golf, somebody who's your friend can take a shot while you're swinging. If you play tennis, somebody can take a shot while you're, hitting a backhand. You want great photos. And tell your best friend, it's for a dating site, I gotta look hot, I gotta look great, I have to have a close-up of my face, I have to have a full body shot where they can really see that I'm toned, and show yourself at your most attractive. And believe me, it isn't worth, for a dating site, it isn't worth using a photo from years ago. You can't do it for a dating site. Just FYI, okay.
And that photo is really the person themselves, not a pet, right?
Thank you. That's really important, right? And don't have your children in the photo. Don't have your dogs and your cats in the photo. Don't have a photo where you photoshopped out somebody's body, but you left their arm draped around you. Yeah, just you and only you. Showing that you are really committed to finding a fabulous date or dates. You're serious and you're willing to be vulnerable. Thank you.
Perfectly clear. Okay, that sounds exciting. I know the next step is actually deciding if you're going to have a public profile or a hidden one. Could you explain to us what the difference is?
Yeah, this is really important. I mean, there are people who insist on having hidden profiles, even though they're not famous, they're not wealthy, they're not public names, they are not working for a government agency, but they have a huge need for privacy. So if you're a Scorpio or you know anybody who's a Scorpio, this is going to come up a lot because Scorpios, though I don't understand astrology, but they all seem to be very big on privacy. Great. So some dating services allow this, and you may have to pay a little bit extra, and some dating services don't allow this. So go with the services that allow you to do it. The only thing you have to remember is when you have a public profile, people can see your profile, they can reach out to you. And the organization that runs the dating site will send you potential matches, and they'll send you to people as their potential match. But when you have a private profile, you can't do it. Well, that's fine because I don't really like all of this matching by algorithm anyway. Because matching by algorithm is fine if you're a robot, but if you're a man or a woman, it's not as successful.
Interesting. I have a little story on that, Susan, where a sister had a match with her brother on the profile. A lot of similarities there. I just found that. I know. Well, that's what she said.
I never, ever heard any story like that. That is so creepy and so hilarious. Oh my God.
Oh no, that got me all
That's
heated up.
so funny. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay, I know it's for real.
Better than a father with his daughter.
Oh, jeez.
Because, we know with this age thing, so better not. And we already know that today it was announced that Rupert Murdoch is engaged to Jerry Hall, so anything's possible.
Oh, no, well, let's explore this. Once someone is actually ready to start looking at a site, what do they need to know about honesty? Oh, well. And the lack of honesty in people's profiles.
Okay. So remember, this is not your best friend introducing you to another one of their good friends. This is strangers meeting strangers. So your job is to finesse for information. That is your express purpose. By putting a profile on a dating site, you have one purpose, which is to get dates. Your equally valid and crucial goal is to finesse for enough information so that you do not make dates with people you do not want to make a date with. And I don't care how trusting you are, and I don't care how untrusting you are. Distrustful. It doesn't matter. This is a system, and you have to adjust to the system. So, men will traditionally lie about their height. They will lie about how much money they earn. They may lie about their level of education. And they may lie about their weight and their age. But weight and age are more things that women will lie about. Women will lie about their weight, number one, their age, number two. Then they may lie about this financial stability that they do or don't have. And they may lie about their education as well. But money and education are not as big of a temptation for lying for women and are huge for men. Just as, men don't care as much about how old they are and, how much they weigh, but height, that's a major thing for men. So, forewarned is forearmed. Just be aware of it. Know that people's attitude is they need to get you to connect with them. And, they may tell you on the first date, the second date, the third date, hey, I'm really 39 or I'm really 51, whatever it is. Don't get yourself in a huff. You're using online dating. You don't know for sure 100% of the facts. Make sure you find somebody who's got enough going for him or her that you want to go out with them on Valentine's Day. That's all you have to think about now.
That makes it simple and complicated. Well, good. You've let us know about what is the most common things that people exaggerate. Now, how do people select the people that they really want to email?
So the key to evaluating profiles that I've developed over many, many, many years is not so different from when you tell your friends what you're looking for, right? So let's say you have a best friend who knows everybody in the world. You're going to tell your best friend, woman or man, exactly what you're looking for. I want to have a date by Valentine's Day. I want to have a fabulous time Valentine's Day. I'm hoping you know somebody. Here's what I'm looking for. And then you have to be very, very specific. Don't compromise. They're going to compromise if they don't know that person. They're going to find people who aren't quite that. But don't you compromise. So when you look for a profile, if you hate golf, you see somebody who loves golf, don't bother. You know what's going to happen on weekends. That person's going to be playing golf and you're going to be alone saying, what am I doing? And the same goes for any activity. If somebody says they love something and you hate it, that's not your match. That's not your partner. That's probably not even a Valentine's Day date for you. Because if somebody were going to talk about the Lakers all Valentine's Day to me, I would kill one of us before the end of the evening. I'd be hoping I'm at a party so I could talk to other people, right? So make sure you're looking for somebody who really has the interests and the attributes you're looking for. And a photo's important. If that person doesn't turn you on, then this is not who your potential husband or wife is going to be. This is a hot date. So the first thing you want to look at is for someone who's hot. And it doesn't have to be a neuroscientist. It doesn't have to be a nuclear physicist. It doesn't have to be a CFO. This is a hot date for Valentine's Day, right? So please focus on that. And look at the profile. And I recommend doing a green highlight for what you love and a red highlight for what you dislike. And the profiles need to have mostly green and almost no red. And when you've got 10 of those, then you're ready to go to the next step, which Gigi's going to ask me about in a minute.
I like that, the highlighting. Go, stop, pay attention. Now, what causes your clients to be so much more successful at reaching out to people and getting replies?
Thank you. Well, first of all, the 3-paragraph rule that I invented years and years and years ago is about the first paragraph being about them, the reader. Because if they're not interested in what you have to say, they're not reading to the second paragraph. And they're sure not going to get to the third paragraph. So the first paragraph basically, and I just wrote a bunch of these in the last couple of days, I use the person's username, dear username. I was so interested to see that you have a love for XYZ and that you have a career that allows you to utilize your love of art. Let's say if she's an art curator, whatever it is. So make a first sentence that is all about her needs and how she meets her needs in her life in a wonderful way. And it could be her energy, it could be her family, it could be her hobbies, it could be her career, it doesn't matter. And then let the second sentence, still in the first paragraph, do the same thing. And it was wonderful to read how happy and joyous you are and that your daughter means so much to you and that you've been able to carve out a career where you have a lot of flexibility. So you're proving in the first paragraph, which is no more than 2 sentences, that you actually read her profile. Not that you're sending out the same email to 53 women or men hoping that somebody's dumb enough not to realize, because they realize. So once you do that, then the second paragraph is all about you. I am also excited by art, and I have an extensive art collection. My favorite artists are so-and-so and so-and-so, and I look forward to hearing your preferences. And then I have X number of children, or I have no children, and children are very important to me, whatever it is. But again, you're connecting in such a way, and then something that's just about you. So this is like baiting the hook and throwing it into the lake. The third point is whatever it is you're interested in that maybe didn't show up in this woman or man's profile. Then you have paragraph 3, the call to action, as in any good sales letter. And the call to action is what you want them to do. So I'm hopeful that you've enjoyed reading my profile and that you would like to speak. And if so, please let me know and I will send you my cell number. And then thank you or warm regards, and then your username or your real name. So that's just a basic model. It works every single time. You just have to make sure you do that, do what works. And you'll learn over time doing that again and again.
That's very nice. You really connect with them and you get personal, honest, and
you better,
that
right?
appreciation.
You better show that you're honest.
Yes.
And you better get personal, because otherwise how are you going to motivate them to connect with you?
That's right. Oh, wonderful. Now, what are your secrets to responding once someone has contacted you via a dating site?
Well, it's really important to use the three-part system that I just described in every case. It's always 3 paragraphs. It's not 2, it's not 5. You want to make sure that you do this because even if someone is bored and sitting at home and lonely, they might send out emails to 100 people. But this system finesses them into either stepping up to the plate, because remember, paragraph 3 is, I'm really interested in talking with you, and if that's something that you'd enjoy doing as well, please let me know and I'll send you my cell number. So that's a very clear call to action. There are a lot of people who are not available on dating sites. They're married, they're living with somebody, they're bored, or worse. So you want to be sure that you don't get into a long-term email relationship where you get feelings for someone who doesn't exist. Because that's not different from cyber stalking, where somebody can target a person in a chat room, et cetera, et cetera. So you're not available for any of that. You're upfront, you're really excited to talk to somebody, you're willing and ready to give them your cell phone number, and you'll see what you get back. And if someone is not available, if someone is already living together with somebody or married, the probability of them responding to the email I wrote for you is slim to none. And you keep that up and you will get rid of all the iffy people, which is a very important part of internet dating, right?
I'm wondering what the percentage is.
No way to know.
Oh my. Okay. Well,
But not enough reason for people to avoid online dating. See, a lot of people go down the tubes with that. I'm teaching you how to avoid getting hit. We can't avoid people doing what they're doing. And we can avoid suffering. We can avoid getting in trouble as a result, right? So that's why these skills are so important.
this is very good. No time wasted here. Now, how many emails would you suggest, Susan, that they have before that actual first phone call?
No more than 3. You've got to have enough skills to push this along. You've got to be charming and captivating in an email if you're the one who's reaching out. And if you're the one who's been reached to, you don't want to waste your time in an email relationship. There are so many reasons why not.
Thank you, Susan. And I'm curious now, what are the skills that are required during this online dialing phone calls? Because this is different from a regular relationship, correct?
Yeah, you don't know these people from Adam at all. And even when you speak to somebody on the phone, unless you can see the caller ID, unless they're calling you and you can see the caller ID, and the caller ID is a legitimate name, unless you do that, you don't know at all. And make sure in that first phone call, you are very gently going to say, "My name is Susan Allan, and I'm wondering if you'd be willing to tell me your name." And if the person says, "Oh, my name is Bob," or "My name is Jane," then something's up, because you've given them your last name. You've got to give them your last name, and that's why we use cell phones. We don't use, most people don't have home phone numbers anymore, but don't give them your office number. Don't give them a home number if you've got it. Give them your cell number, because you can block people on a cell phone so they can't text you, they can't call you. You're set. So, "My name is so-and-so, and I wonder if you'd be willing to tell me yours." And let's say the guy or the woman gives you the full name. "Great, thank you so much, I really appreciate it." Now, if you're the one making the call, then the next thing is for you to say again, because you're in the driver's seat, you made the call. You want to encourage that person to talk a lot. The more information you get, the better. "So, Bob, I saw on your profile that you really enjoyed, blah, blah, blah. And again, now you're finessing for information. So are you going to play golf this weekend? You must be so excited. It's the holidays coming. So are you going to be playing golf? And if Bob says, oh my goodness, I am going to play golf 3 days in a row, then if you love to play golf, check, check, check. If you hate golf, XXX, done. You're pretty much done with Bob right now in that moment. You still be gracious, say, oh, well, Bob, that's really wonderful for you. I'm delighted. Just to let you know, Bob, I don't play golf, and so we probably aren't going to be a match. And then see what he says. He might say, well, this is the only weekend of the year that my buddies and I go and play golf. Who knows? So don't make decisions for other people, but finesse for information and keep checking to see if your needs can get met. Okay.
A little detective work there.
Wow, I can't believe that I'm referring, without even realizing it, to this gorgeous guy, Bob, that I dated so many years ago, who lost he lost the contest because of his golf thing. He couldn't go out with me on a particular night because he was playing golf the next day. And, well, what time was he playing golf? He had to be there. Tee time was 6 a.m. It's like, did I know that Bob wasn't for me, even though he looked like a cross between Errol Flynn and Clark Gable? Yeah, Bob was not for me. Anybody who's getting up at 5 in order to play golf at 6 a.m. is not for me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying we have preferences.